In this After Effects tutorial, we'll be learning how to create this robot animation. Now, this is an illustration downloaded from Freepik. I have another video on how to arrange this in a way that you can be able to animate it inside After Effects. You can check out the video if you haven't seen it. Now, in this video, we'll be looking at how to animate all these individual elements. Alright, so let me import the file that we'll be working with. So this is the file we created in Illustrator. I'll import it as composition, return layer sizes, and then open it. I'll open this composition so we can see all the elements, the way we splitted them up in Illustrator, so that we can be able to animate all these parts. The advantage of using Illustrator for this is because we can be able to scale it up and also convert any of the elements we want to convert to shape easily. So the first thing I'll do is to color code all these my layers so that I can easily identify it. So I'll first of all select all the layers and turn on the continuous rasterization. And then starting with the background, I'll select the background and change the color. Let me use brown for this. I'll lock these two layers. Then for this hanger, make it brown. Selecting all the robot arm, I'll make them a separate color. So for this, all the robot arm 1, I'll make the color to be, let's say, red. Then for the robot arm 2, I'll make the colors to be yellow. So for the arm 3, I'll rename all the layers to cyan. For box 1, I'll leave it the way it is. I'll make this one cyan as well. And then rename the layer and call it fan. So the operator and the machine, with the shadow of the machine, I'll change the color to be purple. This box 2, take it up. And the machine and the operator will have to be above every other thing. Now let's start by creating animation with this particular robot arm. So the plan is to make the chain to extend down, then it will pick up this box and then drop it on another platform. So for that second platform, I will quickly draw something that we will use. This can be anything. It can be another conveyor, it can be a stacking box or whatever it is. But for now, we can just create something that we can work with. Let me create another conveyor. So I'll pick this color. There will be no fill, only stroke. And for the stroke, I'll make it a round cap and use dashes. I'll increase the dashes to act like the conveyor belt. Then for the offset, because I want this to be moving around, I will use a time expression by alt-clicking on the stopwatch and just type time times, let's say, -30. So the speed can always be changed. So we'll work with this for now. Let me also add something else here. Simply make this a dark color, no stroke. Pick this color right here. I can rename this to be conveyor 2. we'll work with this for now. We'll have to animate this to pick up a box and drop it here. So the first thing we'll do is to rig all these elements together for them to be linked together. So starting with this, our base. So based on the way we've arranged it in Illustrator, linking it will now be easier. So this is for our chain. We'll link it to this base. Then this second part, 𝓜, we'll link it to the chain. Then this one, now before I link this one, because I want the animation to happen from here, I'll move the anchor point to this base. So take the anchor point up and then link it to the base. Then for these arms, now the way the arm works, this one will be linked to this one will be linked to this one, and then this one will be linked to this one. This way, if I move the base, every other element will follow. I can also animate this one individually. So I'll parent the 𝓜 to 2, I'll parent the 2 to 1, and then I'll parent the 1 to the base. You see the advantage of naming it accordingly. This way it makes it easier when you are linking it. Now for the other part, I'll link the 1 to the base. I'll link the 𝓜 to 2, and then I'll link the 2 to 1. So this way, if I rotate this arm, it will rotate this way. While it's rotating, it can also move along with this one. So let's start by creating the basic animations. So I want this box to be picked up from here, and then so for this, I'll open the position of this guy. Let's link the box to it. So I'll also link the box. So I'll link it to one of these arms. I'll link it to this particular arm. I'll link it to this arm. So when I move the base, the animation will start from here. Meanwhile, let me extend this guy. So the animation will start from here and it will extend down to pick up the box. So the first thing we'll do is to animate this section. So I'll select this base and open the position and turn on the keyframe. I move forward a bit. Let me reduce this time. So I move forward a bit on the timeline, let's say 2 seconds, and then I'll move it down. So it's kind of slow, so I'll make it a bit fast. But the first animation, the box will be on the platform. Before this part, I will separate the box. So to separate this box, I will have to split it. So I will use Ctrl+Shift+D. Now this first part, I will take it out from the link so that when it comes, it can then switch back to the one that is parented to this arm. Now you can see that our chain is not extending. So for our chain, I will be using the CC reptile. I'll be using a repeat tile and extend it down. So I'll animate it to come down. So I'll put it behind this guy, make it 160, and turn on the stopwatch, then come back to the beginning and make it 0. So this way, when it's animating, it will extend. So that is how we did the chain. Another alternative you can use for this chain is to convert it to shapes, and then use repeater to repeat the chain to animate. The beginning part of this animation, the arms of this robot will have to be open and then close when it's picking up the box. So to achieve that, I will have to work it backward. So at this point, this is the point where the arms will be closed. I'll be animating this part, open the rotation, and this part as well. So for this one, I'll turn on the stopwatch for rotation, and same for this, and then select the two keyframes and move it forward a bit. So at this point, I can then open the arms a bit. For this front arm, I'll animate the scale instead of the rotation. So I'll turn on the stopwatch for the scale, increase the scale a bit. Now adjust this box that is currently parented to it. So I think this is okay. So this split will have to start here. So adjust this guy and this guy. So this way, when it comes down, it will close up and then go back up. So this closing is a bit slow. So make it a bit fast. So the moment it closes, we'll add a stopwatch for the position and then take it back up. So take it back up. So at this point, we'll add a stopwatch for the chain so that we can take it back up and then animate it backward. And the moment it comes up, we'll turn on the position keyframe and then move it to this point. The moment it gets here, it will drop. So we'll turn on the stopwatch for the position of the arm and the chain and then move forward a bit and drop the box. So at this point, we'll have to open the arms again. So we'll turn on the stopwatch for the arms and then move forward a bit. So for each of these arms, we'll just copy the keyframe of when it was open. Copy this, paste it, copy this, paste it here. So at this point, we'll separate the box, and this particular one will unlink from this point. So we have dropped the box, the arms will open up. The arms will open up, and then this base will have to go back up. So turn on the stopwatch for this, and that of the chain. We'll move forward a bit, and then take it back up. I want to use the first position to be able to put it on repeat. And I'll extend the chain back up. So this is our animation so far. So the moment it drops this box will have to move. So as it's dropping it, we'll turn on the position keyframe for the box and then move it off. Then you can animate the base to go back to pick another box. So turn on the stopwatch for the base and then take it back. So from this point, it will keep repeating this process. So this is the only animation you have to do, picking up the box and dropping it. So that is how we can animate this one. Now the next one will be animating will be, let's animate this one first before this one. So let's do the linking of this one. So we'll start with the base, then this will be linked to the base, followed by this one, and then this will be linked to this guy. Our 3.6 will be linked to 3.7, our 3.7 will be linked to 3.4, which is this one right here, and then this base will be linked to this one, and then this will be linked to the base, and then the arms, just like we did in the first one. This is supposed to be 1, so 3 will be linked to 2, 2 will be linked to 1, and 1 will be linked to the base. Same thing for the other arm. 1 will be linked to the base, 2 will be linked to 1, and 3 will be linked to 2. For the fan, I'll link it to the 3B, that is this arm here. Now let's quickly do the animation. Now this box will have to be above. So the way this one will be animated, it will pick the fan and drop it in the box. So let's start by moving the base backward a bit. Then I'll animate this part, rotation, and make the rotation of this one. Let me animate it this way. Let me move it a bit down and move this one up, and then move this one down. So I'll move the position backward. I'll turn on the stopwatch for the position. The robot arm will come out first, and then I'll turn on the stopwatch for the rotation of all these arms. I'll move forward a bit, and this one will have to move up a bit. This one will move down a bit, and this one will move like this. I don't think I like the way it's doing this. So let me change some animations to Alright, so this is the animation we'll be working with. So when it comes to this point, just the same way we did with the first box, we will separate the fan so that it can drop. So we'll split the fan and then unlink this second part. So we'll move the position so that it drops. But then we'll have to open the arms of this robot. So we'll animate the rotation of this point. We'll turn on the stopwatch for the rotation, and then rotation of this one as well, and the scale. And then I'll move forward a bit, and then animate the scale to be 110 to come out a bit. Then this rotation will animate it to open up, and this one will open up as well. So at this point, we'll animate the position of the fan to drop. Because we don't want the fan to be seen, we'll simply cut it off at this point. So this is the animation. So it takes a while before the fan drops. So as it's opening up, the fan is dropping. So the moment it drops, we'll go back. We'll turn on the stopwatch for all these ones. Again, the position. So I'll copy this and paste it here. Same with this one. And then this one as well. And the position. So also move the position to the beginning part so that the animation can loop itself. So when we stop the animation here, you can see that it loops. So this part is done. The next thing we'll do is this one. But before that, we have to animate the boxes. So the moment this drops in the box, this box will start moving. So we'll turn on the position of the box. Then the box will move to this point. We will not be making use of this box for now. Let me turn it off. So we are done with the animation of this first arm. The moment it drops, the box moves. Now when the box gets to this point, we want to scan it with this machine to scan the QR code to be able to record it on the system. To achieve that, I will be creating a shape that I can use as a flash to show that the screen is scanning something. So I'll make this a bright blue color to just be like 3 frames. So the moment it scans to show that the record is entered on this screen, I'll use an adjustment layer to add a light sweep. So I'll simply mask out this portion and then add a light sweep to it. Let me turn off the mask for now. So this is the light sweep we'll be using to scan on this screen. I'll bring it back here. I'll reduce the width a bit. From here, I'll turn on the stopwatch for the center. I'll move forward a bit and then make it to sweep through the screen. So this way, when I turn on my mask again, so this mask will make it to only appear on this portion. So it will sweep across this screen. The moment it flashes, that is showing that it scans, it will sweep across the screen. So the next thing we'll be doing is to seal the box. Now when you look at this box here, you can see that it has a lid on top. It's covered, but this particular one doesn't. So we'll introduce a lid that we will use this to seal it with the lid. The moment it gets to this point, I want this to seal it. But before then, let's link these robot arms up. So for this one, so this is the base. Now we'll link this one to the base. This one, I'll move the anchor point of this one here. The reason is because this one doesn't have an anchor, a round anchor like this. So I'll use the anchor point to move it. So I'll link it to the arm, link this one to 4, link this one to 6, and link 6 to 3, and then I'll link 7 to 5. So this way this can move around. Now the reason I will use the anchor point to move this one is when I rotate this one, you see that it doesn't have a round anchor like the others. So I'll be using this to rotate it. That's why I move the anchor point, so that the rotation will happen from this point. At this point, the first animation will happen. So I'll move the position of this arm to start from here. I'll turn on the position keyframe and then move forward a bit. And then it will come back. While it's coming back, I want this portion to rotate, and this one will be rotating as well. So when it drops, the position will animate to go back. And then the animation will go back to reset. So this is our sealing machine. Now let's introduce the lead for this. I'll use the stroke to draw a single line because we'll be using the trim part for this. So I'll make it a black color. I'll be using the thickness of 5. Now to animate the ceiling, I'll be making use of trim parts to animate the ceiling of this. So I'll add a trim part to this, and then the end I'll make it 0. So the moment the animation is about to happen, meanwhile this box I'll have to move it a little bit more. So from this point, we'll start animating the trim part. We'll turn on the stopwatch for the end, and then where the animation will stop, we'll make it 100. Meanwhile, I need to adjust the position. We'll parent this seal to this box, put it on top of the box, and then at this point I'll parent it to the box so that when it seals, it will go with the box. So let's look at what we have so far. So put the fan in the box moves, the box gets scanned, and then it gets sealed. After sealing, the box will continue the movement to this point for the next pickup. So the next thing is to rearrange the timing. Now, to make your animation faster or slower, when you select the keyframes, when you hold down Alt and you drag, it will make the animation faster or slower. So that is the way we'll be adjusting this animation so that it will mash up. So for this box we have here, I'll be replacing it with this one that we already animated. So for our box 2, I'll duplicate box 1 together with the lead. Now delete box 2 and call this box 2. When the animation is starting, box 2 is already at this point. So adjust these animations to happen at the beginning. So this is the point where we will get our loop so that the animations can happen simultaneously. We've created a loop for the animation, but it's remaining the box, so we have to introduce another box. While this box is moving, another box will have to come out. So I have to duplicate this box right here. So this will be our box 4. No position keyframe. So at the beginning, it will be inside here. So the moment the animation starts and they start moving, it will start coming out as well. So by the time it gets to the end, it should be here. So we'll move it to this point. So we can now adjust the movement. Okay, the speed is okay. So this will kind of keep rotating. Now, depending on what you are using this for, the main purpose of this is to understand the concept of parent and linking, to be able to use it to animate things together. There are some plugins that can also help you to achieve this in case you are doing some complex animation like character rigging. That way it will help you to make things faster, because you have to keep animating different parts of the characters to be able to achieve your animation. But for this straightforward animation, just parent and linking will serve the purpose. So you can then add some sound effects, and then if you have a branding, like we mentioned when we are doing this in Illustrator, you can actually create a branding of a box and then use that particular box to create this kind of process. So by the time you add every other element that you can add to the scene, you can have something like this that we have here. So that is the process you can use to create this kind of animation. If you have any question regarding any of the process, you can let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.